Hello, I'm a faithful believer in Jesus Christ. I'm an alcoholic, and my name is Wayne. I was born and raised on the east side of Detroit, the oldest of five. I was raised in an abusive household where my father's form of discipline was to the bare backside, 1x4s, belts, sticks, and then it turned into his fist. Shortly after, my parents divorced, and I started running the streets and doing what I wanted to do. I started experimenting with drugs and alcohol. Around this time, I got arrested for the first time.
Hi, my name is Sherry. I am the youngest of five. I lost my father when I was 3 years old. All the memories that I have of him really are from pictures or stories that other people have told me. Years later, my mom married my stepdad. He took great care of her and us, but I never had an emotional attachment to him. I don't even know if he even liked me. My grandmother was a faithful believer in Jesus Christ. And we spent lots of time on weekends with her where we would actually get on our knees and pray for everybody that she knew, our family, people she may have met that day. I'm so thankful for her.
At 17 years old, I got my high school girlfriend pregnant. I dropped out of school and picked up two jobs, landscaping and working at a fast food restaurant. After a little time, I knew that wasn't going to work out as far as raising a baby, so I joined the Navy. A handshake deal with my probation officer and my recruiter, and off I went. When I got back from boot camp, my records had been expunged. I married that girl, and after 10 years and 3 kids, we ended divorced. I spent those 10 years in the Navy, where drinking was binge drinking with other sailors in protocols, typical of young people in the military. I married again 3 years later and had another child. That lasted 13 years, he led down the same road. I then started to become callous and numb and drinking much heavier.
Years later, I married my first husband. We had 2 children, a son and a daughter. I spent 20 years in a mental abusive relationship that was not acceptable, so I filed for divorce. I went on with my life, spent most of my time just hanging out with my girlfriends and working on myself.
And then I met her. Our first date was for lunch. It was 7 hours long. She was beautiful, great smile, lit up the room. We couldn't get enough of each other. We quickly got an apartment together, and our life was off on the fast track, hosting parties all the time. And she didn't drink much, but I sure did drink enough for the both of us. Drinking became daily. I would pick up a shot on the way home from the liquor store, and then a couple beers to wash that down when I got home. That one shot turned into 2 shots, and sooner than I knew it, I was doing a whole pint. Eventually, my wife started questioning my consumption, which turned into hiding and denial. At the time, I was drinking vodka and hiding a fifth in the garage and used whatever excuse I needed to in order to go down there and take a couple swigs. Around this time, my mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. My wife was also dealing with medical issues of her own, and it was a struggle for her. This created a lot of stress in the house, which gave me an excuse to drink. At this point, I was a full-blown alcoholic. One day I came home from work, and she met me in the backyard, sunglasses on. I could tell she was crying. She said she wanted a divorce. I didn't care. I was numb. I just told her, fine. I got up and moved out. I attended Heritage Church a few times, but watched it mostly on TV. I decided to volunteer at Heritage Church. I chose the parking lot, and I got out there and would wave to the cars. Sometimes they'd wave back. So I went out and I bought some big cartoonish gloves and started waving and started getting some more attention. Well, what nobody knew was I was a drunk. I was miserable with myself, my life. And wearing the costumes was just a way to hide. I would stop at the gas station and grab a fifth on the way into the church. Before the noon service, that bottle was gone. And I left and went to the gas station and grabbed another bottle and went home. This was my life now. I got a phone call from who's now my ex-wife. She wanted to, she was angry and upset with me about something she had heard and was going to share an earful with me. She started yelling at me and telling me that I'm throwing my life away, my kids, my grandchildren, my friends, my family. And she demanded that I immediately get into rehab. She cried. She was there when I needed someone most.
I didn't know what to expect when I made that phone call. All I know is he needed help.
So I got help. I joined Celebrate Recovery immediately. A wonderful community of people being completely open and transparent.
I called Wayne because I knew he was part of Heritage at this time and my mom was really sick. And I asked him if he could call somebody from church and ask him to pray over my mom. And Debbie came, and she was amazing. She prayed over my mother. She stayed with my family for a couple hours. I walked her out, and she asked me how I knew the man that sent her over. And I said, he's my ex-husband. And I know I was getting emotional. And she said, he still loves you.
I had lost hope for our marriage because it was already over. I lost hope for our relationship. And I didn't know that you still cared. I mean, all the signs were right there. Is this lady still loves me? And then I had to become honest with myself and know that I still love you as well. So in January of 2023, I decided to give up alcohol and accepted Jesus Christ into my life. Jesus Christ gave me the power to combat this illness and put me on the right path.
We started dating again, and I seen a huge change in how he is and how happy he is. It's a completely different person now.
Well, that's awesome. I got to the gym, lost 50 pounds. My mind is clear, my thoughts are clear. Our conversations have been so much better. I stopped wearing the costumes because I don't need to hide anymore. With Jesus, it's a brand new day. I, however, still wear the white gloves. For me, it's still fun and it seems to bring joy to people coming in. I still dance, even though some may not call it dancing. But the gloves also serve to me as a reminder of where I was and where I am now. Thank you, Jesus.